Do you know someone who is fiercely loyal, always there for you when you need them, but when it comes to changing their mind or trying something new, they just won't budge? You might be dealing with a Taurus. But here's the thing, are they truly loyal? Or are they just stubborn? Is their unshakable commitment a strength, or does it sometimes hold them back? If you've ever wondered why Taurus people can seem like they have a wall up when it comes to change, or why they'll stick to their decisions even when the world tells them to adapt, this video is for you. Today, we're diving deep into the intriguing duality of Taurus, one of the most loyal yet most stubborn signs in the zodiac. In the next few minutes, we're going to unpack the psychological and emotional layers of Taurus, exploring how their need for stability influences both their loyalty and their stubbornness. You'll learn how understanding their nature can not only help you improve relationships with Taurus individuals in your life, but also teach you valuable lessons for your own growth. So if you're ready to uncover the truth about Taurus, and whether their loyalty is as strong as their stubbornness, make sure to stick around until the end of this video. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. And if you're new to the channel, welcome to Zen Mind Peaceful Life, where we explore astrology, psychology, and personal growth to help you live a more mindful and peaceful life. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and share it with anyone who might be dealing with a stubborn yet loyal Taurus in their life. If you've ever met someone born under the sign of Taurus, you've probably noticed a few things: their unwavering loyalty, their dependability, and perhaps, at times, a stubbornness that's hard to ignore. But here's where it gets interesting. Is it really stubbornness? Or is it a protective mechanism wrapped in loyalty? How do these traits shape their relationships and their personal growth? Let's start by thinking about someone you might know, maybe a friend, a colleague, or even a partner. You know the type. They are the ones who are always there when things get tough. They will offer a helping hand, a listening ear, or even show up to support you when you least expect it. When you're in a pinch, a Taurus is someone you can rely on. Their loyalty isn't just an empty promise, it's a deep-rooted commitment that doesn't waver easily. Think about that friend who would drop everything to help you move. Even if it's late at night or on a weekend they had already planned something for. That's the Taurus way. It's not that they enjoy being put in inconvenient situations, but they value their relationships so deeply that they will do whatever it takes to show up. There's a sense of security that Taurus gives off because they are dependable. They are like the anchor in a storm, calm, steady, and unwavering. However, this deep commitment and loyalty sometimes have an interesting flip side. If you've ever tried to persuade a Taurus to change their mind, you know it's not the easiest thing. You might have had a conversation where, no matter how much you tried to present a new perspective, it seemed like nothing would sway them. They might hold on to their beliefs with a kind of quiet strength, and sometimes, it can feel more like stubbornness than dedication. But is it really just stubbornness? Or is there something more to it? For Taurus, change doesn't come easily. It's not that they aren't open-minded or capable of growth, it's just that they need to feel safe and secure before they make that leap. When they hold firm to a decision or stance, it's because they've thought it through and have built an emotional foundation around it. The problem is, they sometimes interpret anything unfamiliar as a threat to their sense of stability. So, their stubbornness is often a defense mechanism to protect themselves from what feels uncertain. If you're someone who has a Taurus friend or partner, understanding this aspect of their personality is key to improving your relationship. For example, if you're suggesting a big change, whether it's moving cities, changing careers, or even adopting a new lifestyle, it's not enough to just present the pros and cons. A Taurus will want to feel that the change will actually improve their life in a tangible way. They need to know it's worth the risk. One approach that works well with Taurus is giving them time. Instead of pushing them to make quick decisions, offer them the opportunity to reflect and process the change at their own pace. They might not show it immediately, but they are considering the long-term effects of any change. Give them the space to process, and you'll likely find that they'll come around in their own time. In fact, Taurus can be quite loyal to ideas or routines that they have spent years cultivating. So a sudden push can feel jarring. Patience is key. Now, imagine the opposite. You're the one who's dealing with a Taurus who's steadfast in their ways. Maybe you've been in a relationship with one, and you've found that their need for routine sometimes leaves little room for spontaneity. While this might seem like a minor issue, over time, it can start to feel like a wall between the two of you. You might want to try new experiences or take risks, but every time you bring it up, the conversation gets shut down. This is where the challenge of Taurus loyalty comes into play. Their resistance to change doesn't always come from a place of fear. It often stems from the fact that they value consistency and reliability in their life. Change to them means giving up the very thing they hold dear, their sense of security. So, if you want to convince a Taurus to step outside their comfort zone, the best way to do it is by showing them that the change will enhance the things they already value. Perhaps it's introducing something new that complements their routines rather than disrupts them. Or maybe it's showing them that the stability they cherish can exist in new experiences, too. For example, if you've ever tried to get a Taurus to embrace a healthier lifestyle, say, by getting into yoga or meditation, you might encounter some resistance. But instead of trying to convince them to go full throttle, consider suggesting a slow transition. Invite them to join you for a relaxing evening of meditation or offer a comfortable space where they can feel secure trying something new. Once they feel the positive impact of the change, you might see them open up to it gradually. That's the beauty of Taurus. Once they experience the benefits of a change in a way that feels safe and anchored, they will usually stay loyal to the new habit or routine. It's not about rejecting change, it's about trusting that it will lead to something stable and enduring. So, if you're ever in the position of trying to persuade a Taurus to adapt, make sure you approach it with empathy and an understanding of their need for stability. Allow them the time to adjust, and they will reward your patience with unwavering loyalty. There's something beautiful about how Taurus approaches life. Their commitment to people, routines, and ideas often makes them some of the most dependable individuals you can have in your corner. However, this same loyalty can sometimes make them seem inflexible or set in their ways. It's not about being rigid, it's about preserving the sense of security they've worked hard to build. If you can understand that balance, you'll have a much deeper connection with the Taurus in your life. So, as we dive deeper into understanding the Taurus sign, remember this: their loyalty isn't something that can be won over quickly. It's earned over time, through consistent actions, trust, and the shared experience of stability. And once that loyalty is given, it is one of the most unshakable bonds you'll ever encounter. Stay tuned, because we're about to explore how this steadfastness shapes their relationships and how you can use it to grow not only your connections with them but also in your personal journey toward embracing change. As we continue to explore the intriguing dual nature of Taurus, it's important to understand how this sign's commitment to their beliefs can shape not only their relationships but also their overall approach to life. One thing that's often overlooked is how deeply emotional and sensitive Taurus can be, despite their seemingly tough exterior. Beneath that grounded, Earth-like persona lies a heart that craves connection, affection, and loyalty. But here's where it gets interesting. Taurus' emotional nature often plays a crucial role in their relationships and can reveal a lot about their stubbornness. Have you ever noticed how a Taurus will defend someone they care about, almost to a fault? They'll stand by their friends and loved ones in moments of need, no matter how difficult the situation. But when it comes to the people they love, Taurus can also become incredibly protective. This emotional connection can sometimes cause them to dig their heels in even further when a conflict arises. It's not that they want to be difficult, it's that they feel personally invested. Their emotional depth makes them a fierce ally, but it also means that when they feel threatened, whether by a person, an idea, or even a situation, they can become incredibly defensive. Take, for instance, a Taurus parent who has worked tirelessly to provide for their family. They've built a life based on routines and a sense of stability. If someone questions their parenting style or attempts to challenge the way they've chosen to raise their children, the Taurus might appear as if they're unwilling to listen or compromise. It's not about being stubborn for the sake of being difficult, it's that they feel a deep emotional attachment to their beliefs, to the home they've built, and to the future they envision for their loved ones. If you're close to a Taurus, understanding that their reactions are often emotionally charged can help you approach delicate topics with more care. Gently acknowledging their feelings and the value they place on tradition and routine can go a long way in softening their resistance to change. At times, though, this emotional nature can also make Taurus incredibly loyal. Their attachment to people and places can be seen as an emotional anchor. They will fiercely protect those they care about, even if it means going against the grain. For example, if a Taurus is in a relationship, they often go above and beyond to make sure that their partner feels safe, cherished, and loved. Their loyalty isn't just about being there during the good times, it's about standing by someone when they need support the most. But this loyalty can also manifest in a fear of losing control or security. If a Taurus feels like their bond is threatened, they might cling even more tightly to what they know, making it difficult for them to open up to new ideas or approaches. In relationships, this emotional loyalty can sometimes feel like a double-edged sword. On the one hand, you have someone who will always have your back, no matter what. But on the other hand, they can be reluctant to embrace the unpredictability that comes with change or conflict. If you're a Taurus yourself, take a moment to reflect on how your emotional nature influences your relationships. Are you sometimes afraid of losing what you've built? Are you holding on too tightly to a situation that no longer serves you? Understanding the fine line between healthy attachment and fear of change can help you create more fulfilling connections and encourage you to step into new growth opportunities. Taurus also has a tendency to hold on to their routines and material possessions, and this attachment is rooted in their need for security. This is where their earth element truly shines. Taurus is all about the tangible things that can be seen, touched, and felt. They find comfort in the physical world, and they often express their love and commitment through gestures that provide stability and reliability. But their attachment to material things or the comfort of their routines can sometimes make it difficult for them to embrace the less tangible aspects of life, such as spiritual growth, emotional vulnerability, or taking risks. This is a key area where Taurus can struggle with stubbornness, especially if their sense of security is threatened. Think about a Taurus friend who's always in the same place every weekend, perhaps at their favorite cafe or gym. They've built a life around certain comforts, and they find peace in the predictability of these activities. However, if someone invites them to try something new or break their routine, they might resist. This isn't because they don't enjoy trying new things, but because they find comfort in the familiar. This type of attachment to routine is often mistaken for stubbornness. But in reality, it's more about protecting their sense of inner peace. If you're a Taurus who struggles with change, consider slowly incorporating small shifts into your routine. For instance, if you always go to the same restaurant every Friday night, try picking a new place to go every now and then. It doesn't have to be a big leap, just a subtle change can help you step outside of your comfort zone without feeling overwhelmed. Embracing small challenges can gradually open the door to greater personal growth. Moreover, if you're someone who loves a Taurus and you're trying to encourage them to take a risk or make a change, focus on how the new situation will enhance their sense of security. For example, if you want a Taurus to move to a new city for a job, emphasize how the change will provide even more stability and security in the long run. Taurus doesn't mind change as long as it aligns with their need for groundedness and predictability. Taurus' relationship with money is another fascinating aspect of their personality. They have a natural appreciation for beauty and comfort, which often translates into a love for good quality items and experiences. However, this can also lead to an attachment to material possessions and a reluctance to part with money unless it's for something they truly value. Their approach to finances is rooted in their desire for stability. Taurus doesn't want to risk losing the security they've worked hard to build, so they are cautious when it comes to spending money or making risky investments. This cautious nature can sometimes come across as stubbornness, especially if they refuse to take a financial risk that might have a high reward. If you're a Taurus, it's important to strike a balance between your love for security and your willingness to embrace opportunities that may require stepping outside your comfort zone. For instance, if you've been hesitant to invest in your personal growth, whether it's through a course, a workshop, or even a new business venture, consider starting small. It's not about throwing all caution to the wind. It's about making informed decisions that align with your long-term goals. The more you can view financial decisions as opportunities to create greater stability, rather than risks, the easier it will be to embrace change without feeling like you're losing control. This cautious approach to money can also affect how Taurus deals with conflict. Their need for security can make them avoid confrontation, especially if they feel that a conflict might disrupt their sense of stability. In relationships, this avoidance of conflict can lead to issues being swept under the rug instead of being addressed. But this doesn't mean that Taurus avoids confrontation because they're afraid of standing up for themselves. It's more about their desire to keep the peace and maintain a sense of control over their environment. If you're in a relationship with a Taurus who tends to avoid conflict, try to gently encourage open communication. Approach them in a calm, grounded manner, and let them know that it's safe to express their feelings. This creates a space where they can feel emotionally secure enough to discuss difficult topics. It's important to reassure them that their stability won't be threatened by addressing the problem head-on. In the workplace, Taurus can often be the person you go to when you need something done. They are incredibly reliable and have a strong work ethic that makes them excellent team players. However, their need for predictability can sometimes make them resistant to sudden changes or new ways of doing things. If you're managing a Taurus, it's helpful to allow them time to adjust to new systems or procedures. Their reliability is one of their greatest strengths, but they need to be shown how the change aligns with their long-term goals before they fully embrace it. In conclusion, Taurus is a sign that thrives on loyalty, stability, and security. But their deep emotional connections and attachment to routines can sometimes make them appear stubborn or resistant to change. By understanding their need for security and being patient with their process, you can build stronger, more meaningful connections with them. And for Taurus themselves, embracing small changes in manageable ways can help them grow while still maintaining the grounded nature they so cherish. So, whether you're a Taurus or you know one, understanding these traits can bring more peace, stability, and growth into your life. When it comes to loyalty, Taurus doesn't just show up when it's convenient. Their commitment is unwavering, even when things get complicated. But this steadfast loyalty, which many people admire, can sometimes feel like a burden if you're the one who needs to break free from a situation that no longer serves you. Taurus isn't just about sticking around for the good times, they're in it for the long haul, and they'll do whatever it takes to make a relationship or commitment work. It's the kind of loyalty that builds long-lasting friendships and relationships. And for those lucky enough to have a Taurus in their corner, it feels like having an anchor in a storm. However, there's a downside to this commitment. Once Taurus has attached themselves to something or someone, they can find it incredibly difficult to let go, even when they know deep down that it might be time. Whether it's staying in a job they're unhappy with, a relationship that's no longer fulfilling, or even a lifestyle that's outgrown them, Taurus can find it hard to accept change. It's not that they're blind to these things, it's that they're so deeply loyal that they feel responsible for making things work, even when all the signs point to it being time to move on. If you're dealing with a Taurus who's holding on to something that no longer serves them, it can be helpful to approach them with patience and empathy. Offer support without forcing them to make drastic changes. Sometimes, simply showing that you understand their need for stability can go a long way in helping them take that first step toward change. They need to feel secure in their decision before they can let go of something that's become a familiar part of their life. If you're a Taurus yourself, consider this: what's something in your life that you're holding on to out of a sense of duty? even though it no longer aligns with your needs or values? Letting go can be hard, but in doing so, you create space for something even more fulfilling to come into your life. There's also an element of pride that Taurus carries with them, especially when it comes to their work and achievements. Taurus takes great pride in what they do and the effort they put into it. Whether it's a project at work, a personal goal, or even a hobby, they approach everything with a sense of purpose and determination. You'll rarely find a Taurus half-heartedly involved in something. They put in the work, and they expect to see results. This dedication, while admirable, can sometimes lead to frustration if they don't see immediate success or recognition. For Taurus, it's not about the quick win. It's about the long-term payoff, and they're willing to put in the time and energy to get there. But this persistence can sometimes be mistaken for stubbornness. When Taurus sets their sights on a goal, they go all in, and they won't be easily swayed from their path. While this level of determination is a strength, it can also cause them to miss out on opportunities or new ways of achieving their goals. They may resist advice or feedback if it challenges their carefully laid plans. If you're a Taurus, take a moment to reflect on how this strong sense of pride and persistence plays out in your own life. Are there areas where you might be holding on to a method or plan out of pride, even when there's a more efficient or rewarding way forward? Being open to feedback and new ideas doesn't diminish your dedication, it enhances it. Sometimes, letting go of a little control can lead to even greater success. On the flip side, if you're working with a Taurus who seems set in their ways, consider offering suggestions gently and respectfully. Recognize their dedication, but also point out how trying something new might lead to even better results. Taurus can be incredibly resourceful and practical, so showing them how a new idea will fit within their established framework can make them more open to change. Sometimes, the best approach is to meet them where they are, showing them that their tried-and-true methods are valued, but presenting a new idea as an enhancement, not a complete overhaul. Taurus' deep-rooted need for stability often manifests in their finances. The Earth sign is naturally cautious and methodical when it comes to money, and they value security above all else. This makes Taurus exceptional at managing their resources. They are typically excellent savers, and they enjoy the peace of mind that comes from knowing they have a financial cushion. However, their attachment to material security can sometimes border on being overly conservative, especially when it comes to taking risks. Whether it's in investments, business ventures, or even personal purchases, Taurus is often reluctant to make decisions that could jeopardize their financial security. But there's a balance to strike. While it's important to be financially responsible, Taurus can sometimes miss out on opportunities by being too cautious. If you're a Taurus, think about how you approach financial decisions. Are you letting fear of the unknown hold you back from investments or opportunities that could benefit you in the long run? Sometimes, the safest route isn't always the most rewarding. It's about finding the right balance between stability and growth. For those who love a Taurus, it's important to understand that their reluctance to take risks doesn't come from a lack of ambition, it comes from a deeply ingrained need for security. If you're encouraging a Taurus to take a chance on something, whether it's a new business idea or a personal development goal, be sure to frame it in terms of how it can enhance their stability in the long run. Show them that the risk isn't as risky as it might initially appear. By appealing to their practical side and showing them how this change will ultimately contribute to their sense of security, you'll have a better chance of convincing them to take the leap. As we explore the complexities of Taurus personality, it's impossible to overlook their connection to tradition and routine. Taurus values the tried-and-true methods of doing things. They find comfort and solace in what they know. This can be seen in the way they approach relationships, careers, and even their daily rituals. For example, a Taurus might follow a set morning routine, enjoy the same foods, or visit the same places week after week. There's a deep sense of satisfaction in the consistency of life. And Taurus often feels most at peace when they can rely on what's familiar. But this attachment to routine can also make them resistant to change. If something disrupts their well-established patterns, It can cause them to feel uneasy or even anxious. This is why Taurus can sometimes come off as stubborn, because they resist anything that feels like it might upset their delicate balance. If you've ever tried to convince a Taurus to switch up their routine or try something new, you know that it can take some time before they're willing to go along with it. If you're a Taurus, think about how your attachment to routine serves you, and where it might be holding you back. While routines provide stability and comfort, they can also keep you from exploring new opportunities. Sometimes, breaking free from a rigid routine, even for a small adventure or a new experience, can refresh your mind and provide new perspectives that lead to personal growth. This doesn't mean abandoning your routines entirely, but rather, adding some flexibility and room for novelty within your established patterns. For those in relationships with Taurus, understanding their need for routine is key. If you want to encourage a Taurus to try something new, start small. Maybe suggest a slight change to their routine, rather than something radical. For example, instead of asking them to go on an impromptu trip, try suggesting a short day trip to a new place that still feels within their comfort zone. By easing them into new experiences, you're allowing them to maintain their sense of security while also encouraging personal growth. Another important aspect of Taurus personality is their desire to create a comfortable, aesthetically pleasing environment. They have an eye for beauty and enjoy surrounding themselves with things that bring them joy, whether it's a well-curated home, beautiful clothing, or an appreciation for fine art. This appreciation for beauty is deeply tied to their Venusian influence and speaks to their innate desire for harmony and peace. Taurus wants their surroundings to reflect their inner sense of balance, which is why they put so much effort into creating a peaceful, harmonious space. But while this love for beauty enhances Taurus life in many ways, it can also contribute to their resistance to change. If they've carefully created a space or a lifestyle that feels perfectly aligned with their tastes and values, any attempt to disrupt that can feel threatening. This attachment to comfort and beauty can sometimes cause Taurus to shy away from new experiences, ideas, or challenges that might cause them to step outside their well-established, carefully constructed world. If you're a Taurus, take a moment to reflect on how your desire for beauty and comfort shapes your world. Are there areas of your life where you're holding on to things simply because they feel comfortable, even if they no longer bring you joy? If you're holding on to old possessions, outdated habits, or even relationships that no longer serve you, consider allowing yourself the freedom to let go. Letting go of what no longer serves you can make room for even greater beauty and fulfillment in your life. For those who are close to a Taurus, understanding their deep connection to beauty and comfort can help you communicate more effectively with them. If you want to encourage change, show them how it will enhance the beauty of their life or environment. Whether it's introducing a new experience, a new idea, or even a new piece of art, presenting it in a way that aligns with their appreciation for beauty can make them more open to embracing the change. As we dive deeper into understanding Taurus, there's an undeniable truth that emerges. Their need for comfort and security plays a huge role in how they navigate the world. Taurus is an earth sign, and like the ground beneath our feet, they crave stability. They thrive in environments where things are predictable and steady. Their attachment to comfort isn't just about physical things like their home or favorite possessions, it's about feeling emotionally and mentally secure. 2. And that need for comfort can make them feel incredibly resistant when anything shakes the foundation of their routine. Take the example of a Taurus who has worked tirelessly to build a career. They've put in the hours, learned everything they need to, and created a life that feels safe and fulfilling. When it comes to making a career change or embracing a new challenge, a Taurus might freeze. The idea of starting from scratch or facing the uncertainty of a new path can be overwhelming. For Taurus, their career represents more than just a job, it represents the foundation they've worked so hard to build. This can make them reluctant to leave what's familiar, even if the new opportunity could offer growth or fulfillment. But the reality is that change is a natural part of life. And sometimes it's necessary for personal growth. If you're a Taurus, consider this: While your commitment to security and comfort is admirable, it's also important to ask yourself if the things you've built are still aligned with your true desires. Are you holding on to something simply because it feels safe, even though it no longer excites or challenges you? It's okay to step outside of your comfort zone, even if it's just one small step at a time. If you're able to evaluate your attachments and recognize when it's time to let go, you'll find that new opportunities can bring a level of fulfillment you never expected. For those who love a Taurus, understanding their need for stability is key to helping them grow. If you're encouraging them to embrace change, whether it's a new career, a move to a new city, or a different perspective, take the time to show them how this change will still offer the security and grounding they crave. Taurus needs to know that the change won't compromise the foundation they've built. If you approach them with patience, understanding, and a plan that makes sense to them, they're more likely to consider it. Offer them the time and space they need to process the change, and let them see that the new chapter can be just as fulfilling, if not more so, than the previous one. But as we know, one of the most challenging aspects of being a Taurus is navigating their attachment to the past. They're often nostalgic, holding on to memories, people, and even objects that represent the familiar. For Taurus, the past offers a sense of comfort and security that's hard to let go of. They'll treasure old photographs, heirlooms, or keepsakes from past relationships or experiences. It's not that they can't live in the present, it's that they find peace in the tangible reminders of what has come before. Think about the Taurus in your life who holds onto old keepsakes or talks fondly about their childhood home, their first car, or the early days of their career. There's something deeply sentimental about how they cherish these memories. And while this emotional attachment can be beautiful, it can also be limiting. Taurus can become so tied to the past that they refuse to let go of old wounds, old relationships, or outdated ways of thinking. For Taurus, the journey toward personal growth often involves learning to embrace the present moment and release the attachments that no longer serve them. This doesn't mean they have to forget the past, it just means that they need to acknowledge when their attachment is holding them back. If you're a Taurus, take a moment to reflect on what memories or relationships you might still be holding on to. Are there things from your past that you're afraid to let go of because they represent a sense of security? It's okay to hold on to cherished memories, but sometimes it's necessary to release the weight of the past in order to make room for the present and future. For those who have a Taurus in their lives, understanding their sentimental nature can help you be more supportive. If a Taurus is struggling to let go of something, whether it's a past relationship or a familiar place, approach them with compassion. Show them that you understand how important these memories are to them, but encourage them to find ways to build new memories that align with their current needs and desires. Change doesn't always mean abandoning the past, it's about building a future that reflects who you are now. And here's where it all ties back together. Taurus is a sign that finds peace in the familiar. But it's also a sign that needs to learn the art of balance. Their loyalty, practicality, and love for stability make them incredibly grounded individuals who can create beautiful, secure lives. But in order to truly thrive, Taurus needs to recognize when their need for comfort is holding them back from growth. Personal growth isn't about completely abandoning what makes you feel secure, it's about finding ways to adapt and evolve without losing the essence of who you are. If you're a Taurus, think about how you can use your natural strengths, your determination, loyalty, and practicality, to embrace change in a way that feels safe and manageable. Small steps toward change can lead to big rewards, and the more open you are to new experiences, the more you'll discover about yourself and the world around you. If you're someone who loves a Taurus, be patient and understanding as they navigate their way through life. Offer your support, but also give them the space to process things at their own pace. With time and encouragement, Taurus can move beyond their fear of change and build an even more fulfilling future. As we wrap up this journey into the complex nature of Taurus, it's important to remember that their loyalty and stubbornness aren't flaws, they're simply part of their unique makeup. Understanding Taurus, whether you're one yourself or you have a Taurus in your life, requires patience, empathy, and a willingness to appreciate the beauty in their grounded, reliable nature. When you understand the deeper reasons behind their behavior, you'll be better equipped to navigate the complexities of their personality and build stronger, more supportive relationships. If you've enjoyed this exploration of Taurus dual nature, don't forget to hit the like button, share this video with your friends, and subscribe to Zen Mind Peaceful Life for more insights into the Zodiac and personal growth. We're all about helping you live a more mindful and peaceful life, so make sure you stay tuned for more videos that dive deep into the world of astrology, psychology, and self-discovery. Leave a comment below and let me know your experiences with Taurus, whether you're a Taurus yourself or you have one in your life. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for watching. And remember, life is all about balance. Embrace your strengths, face your challenges, and always stay true to who you are. See you in the next video.